Hi there, my name's Lara Waldman and I'm here today with the lovely, the beautiful Karina Ladet. Welcome, Karina.
Hi, and thank you, Lara. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's lovely to have you too. So I'd love you to introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do in the world.
Okay, this could be a really, really long story. So my name is Karina, and I live in France. I'm Swedish, and I've been traveling a bit and living abroad quite a lot before I settled down in France. For now, I've been here for 14 years, and I'm married to a really wonderful French guy. And we have 2 kids, and I live in the countryside, so I love where I live, and I love the energy of where I live, and just the atmosphere, people taking things slowly, and just, having time to connect and be really present where I am. And so my work is I'm a channel and an intuitive, and I offer intuitive readings and intuitive coaching. And then I love teaching people how to connect with their spirit guides, so they can receive, the messages and whatever they need. And then I do quite a bit of healing in my sessions as well, because I try to kind of play with the work I do so that I don't get too caught up in doing things the same way, or I have kind of a structure when I work, but it's very kind of free-flowing, and I try to really meet people where they are, and and invite them to grow and to expand and to see for themselves how amazing and wonderful and powerful they truly are. And then I love spreading joy and playfulness and love everywhere I go. So, so that's kind of what I do.
Nice. Lovely. And I'd like to find out a little bit more about channeling work, but first I'd love to know what got you into this. Like, how did you become a channel? How did that happen for you?
Oh, that's a great question, because some people say that, that it's only for these specially gifted people, and you always know it from birth and stuff. And a part that now that I think back, I think I was pretty intuitive. Like, I remember being able to feel things and get a sense for what was really going on. Like when people say stuff to you as a kid, and you know that there's something else underneath and what they really mean. But I think a lot of people do, and I was very close to nature. But it was actually something that I spent years reading a lot of books, like spiritual books and all that, but it was still kind of like a fantasy world for me. Until I met this Swedish woman on a trip to the Azore Islands. It's off the coast of Portugal, and it's right in the middle of the ocean. And I've read afterwards, it's one of the places that they say that Lemuria or Atlantis were. So it was quite interesting, looking back. And I just remember being on this trip and being in this like volcanic landscape, and this lady says, I channel, and I took this course in Stockholm, because she was Swedish too. And I was like, oh, what is that thing? I have to do that. So it's really one of those moments when I just thought, wow, because I've always been really into communication and that connection, and so channeling just felt like the next natural step for some reason. And then I went home, and it took me a whole year before I actually signed up to the course. And I went to see a healer before, so I worked some on my stuff. I think so I was ready to receive the teachings during that workshop. And then I took a 2-day workshop, pretty much like the ones I teach now, and I loved it, and I knew that was what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to share how to do it with others, because I think it's so powerful when you receive the messages yourself, and you don't have to go to someone else to tell you things. Although that can be great, for reassurance or when we feel a bit stuck. And then it kind of started there. And then I knew that's what I was going to do. And then I, did other stuff and traveled and had kids. And I started my business like 10 years after I took that course.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. So for people who don't really know much about channeling, can you explain a little bit more about what channeling is?
Yeah. Okay. So channeling is connecting with your spirit guides. I think it can be connecting with other types of energies as well, but I mainly connect with my spirit guides. So it's like I create a space inside me, and then I invite them in. And then we communicate, and they tell me things, and they show me things. And when I teach channeling workshops, I notice that we all see and sense and connect with spirit in different ways. So for some people, it's going to be really visual. And for some, when I first started, I would see things in writing, like handwriting. Very funny. And some people have a felt sense, like they can feel things in their body. And all of that is communication. And to me, all of that is channeling. I do a lot of verbal channeling. So I connect in with that space. People ask questions, or they just ask for a message, and then I hear things kind of in my head that I speak to them, or I do it in writing for myself. So it kind of asks us to clear out our energy, so we're very clear and receptive, and then we raise our vibration so we can meet the spirit guides. And it's a very... I think a lot of people are really focused on the messages because they have questions and they want to know things. For me, the most amazing thing about channeling is all the love and that beautiful energy that you kind of bathe in when you channel. Whether you do it for yourself or you go to someone who channels, because there's so much love, and it's that kind of sense of coming home that can be so touching, and it kind of melts away all the resistance and all the old stuff we're carrying, so we can open up to that kind of
Don't know if we lost her. wait for her to come back.
Oh no!
Hi, are you back?
Yeah. Oh, I can see you now. Oh, that's so weird. Can you see me?
I can't see you yet. No.
Oh, that's so odd.
Think fun technology stuff.
Yeah.
So is your video on?
I have to turn it on again. Oh no! I've been just doing the audio recording.
Oh, okay.
Do I continue with audio recording, just in case? I don't know if that's going to be helpful, but...
Well, maybe just put your video back on, and then we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, okay. Video. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm not very organized. Okay, do you want to just kind of pick off where we started?
Yes, please.
Okay.
But your video's not back yet.
Okay. Do you want to try again, or... Oh, it says I'm not on video.
Oh, there you are. There you're back.
Shoot.
Welcome back.
It's as if I've clicked I don't want video anymore. How weird is that?
Yeah. Anyways, you're back.
I'm back.
So you're talking about the space, like, so a lot of people come for the messages, but there's actually kind of an energy that's created when you're channeling. It sounds like this really loving space where people feel like they can relax and all their resistance and stuff melts away.
Right. Yeah, and you can really go to the core of what's going on, because sometimes we get, this, we get so caught up in our stories and our fears, and that's all we can sense and all we can see. And so when that's being peeled away, then we see what's really going on. Like when someone is triggering us, or getting all upset about, whatever, mother-in-law or friend or neighbor, colleague, and then when we let go of the story, we can see what's really going on and what we're supposed to learn, and how we can maybe react in a different way, or just be more kind to ourselves. And I think just being infused with that love, it changes so many things.
Yeah.
I find that I'm a lot more loving towards others and towards myself, especially, because I used to be a lot harder on myself than I am now.
Yeah, beautiful. And just for people, I know this stuff's kind of hard to describe sometimes in words, but how would you describe what spirit guides are?
Oh gosh, well, there are tons of books about this. What they look like and what the different kinds of spirit guides. I tend to not get too caught up in the details of them, because I find that gives too much focus on them, when in reality it's just about connecting. And there's something about connecting with our own souls and our soul's presence when we channel. So for me, well, I can kind of see them like these light beings, almost like, you know, when you're watching someone and there's light coming up from behind them and you can see the silhouette. And I've connected with different kinds of spirit guides, and some are super wise and radiating love and all that, and some are super funny. I've had the most hilarious spirit guides come up, or for people in my workshops, and it's just so funny. So they tend to be what we don't expect them to be. So if you're expecting this wise guy, you're going to get like someone really small running around, and the other way around. So I love how, it's like they're always teaching us not to get attached to, you know, who they are. Because to me, they're just taking on shapes so that we can receive the messages from them. Yeah. But in reality, I think they're just essence, right? They're just energy, this really, really high vibing energy.
Yeah. I think that same with angels. I experience angels as just this like light, but I think as humans, to understand it, we need to receive these energies in a certain form. So I think people see angels like these humans with wings, but in essence, it's just energy. In essence, isn't it? It's just but we need it to come in a way that our brain can somehow understand it. It seems.
Yeah, so that we can trust it, because I know it's Archangel Michael, because this is how it communicates, or I guess in order to feel safe. So I think that, you know, just going with what works for us is fine, because I tend to not want to stick to too many rules, except for like being very present and grounded, and having like a protocol when I connect. I like that, but I don't want it to be too rigid, and I like playing with it and seeing where it leads me, because there's so much more than what we see and experience. So it's kind of fun to be in that exploring, exciting kind of state.
Cool. And for people who are completely new to channeling, what kind of person would see a channel? Like, what are the benefits of seeing a channel? Like, what can you get out of a session with you, for example?
Oh, wow! It's so different for everyone, right? Yeah. But I find that a lot of times people come to me when they're at like a crossroads, and where they feel stuck. They feel like, okay, I have all these things going on. I can feel a change or shift coming, but I don't know what's going on, or I don't know how to make this decision. So that's a lot of people come when they're in that space. And I find that a lot of times the spirit guides really confirm what people already know, which is always really nice to know that inner knowing. It's right. You can trust it. So a lot about that is about confirming things you know, and sometimes it's about shifting how we see things. So instead of getting caught up in the details, it's like that bigger picture. So if you see yourself, and this is your whole life, or these are all your lives, what's really going on now for you? Which is really interesting, because we can see things in such a different way. And sometimes it's about like releasing stuff and doing healing work, like just clearing up the chakras and the body and the energy body as well, so people feel better. It kind of can lift that pain or the sadness or anger that we feel. And a lot of people who come to me are really sensitive, so they pick up on like everyone, strangers, family, just a lot of really intuitive and empathic people. So just getting that energy clearing, about that, Lara, from being a healer as well, like just clearing all that stuff up so they can feel what's really going on for them, not everyone else's stuff. Yeah. Because that's usually the first step before we can, connect in. And then and sometimes it's also about learning how they can develop their intuition as well. And a lot of times as well, just the messages to bring in more joy into their lives and playing more and not taking ourselves so serious. So it's always a good reminder. Absolutely.
So would you say that then the guides and the channeling helps people to get more clarity and perspective and feel more peaceful and more joyful and connected with themselves, would you say?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And like just enjoying their lives more, because we get so caught up in doing more, not doing enough, not being enough, and all that stuff, instead of just really getting present and enjoying what we have, because this is our life. If we don't enjoy it now, it's not going to come later, whatever we're waiting for. So it's also about really experiencing what's going on now, and sometimes it's easier when it's good stuff, but when it's like the difficult stuff, we kind of want to avoid it or run away from it. But I find that the more present I am with everything that comes up, the more my experiences seem to expand. So if I feel sadness, if I'm really with that, when I release it, I can feel so much lighter. And then I can experience more joy and more love and more like deeper connections.
Yeah.
And then I think it's also like on a global scale, it helps us also to feel more connected to everyone, everything that's alive, all humans, all animals, all the plants and nature, because it's like we see our place in that, in wholeness somehow. And I find that's really good. It's quite opposite of the whole, like, I'm closing myself down and I'm doing my spiritual thing in my bubble and everything has to be perfect. And instead, like, opening up and honestly being present with everything that is, as it is now.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I just feel, I don't know, for me, that's this feeling of coming home, being part of everything in all life. I think a lot of people can feel quite alone and separate, or, just cut off. And if you cut off from yourself, then you're obviously not going to be able to feel connected with all of life. And there's this thing called oneness that people talk about.
And it can be such a spiritual concept, but when you feel it, when you have moments when you feel that, it's just such a wonderful feeling, because I think that's what we all want. We want to feel connected and really alive and not shut parts of us off. Now, of course, depending on where you live, that can be more or less tricky. Like, if I go to a big city or I'm taking a plane somewhere, I don't, like, walk in and just, open everything up. But I can be in a space where I have, like, my own space where I feel protected and I don't take everything on. But I can still send love. I mean, I think I told you about this. Like, I did that at the airport in Paris, like, this huge airport. And I was coming back from a workshop in Sweden, and I thought, I was feeling so, loved up and all, like, I wanted to hug everyone. And everyone's so busy and they were all gray looking and serious and stressed out. And I thought, what if I stay in my space, I ground myself, and I sent some love. And so I did. And it was so funny because people started turning around like they were looking, but they didn't know what it was. It was such a wonderful feeling. So I love playing with these things. Like, how can I stay centered and present and grounded and still do what I feel I'm here to do? No matter what that looks like. You don't have to be a healer and a channeler in order to, spread more love and joy in the world. You can do that anywhere, in the supermarket. I mean, I've had lots of, like, normal, even not great jobs, and I've always tried to bring that energy into what I do.
Lovely. Beautiful. So if people wanted to find out a little bit more about you and what you do, where can they go to find more of you?
More of me. So I have a website. It's karinaladet.com, and you can go there. And if you want to try I offer 2 free guided meditations, because I love guided meditations. If you sign up to my love letter list, and then, so my website, I blog. I try to blog every week because I love that. And I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram now. And so, because I obviously love connecting with people, and I live in an isolated area, so I'm always happy to chat with people. I hang out a lot on social media. Nice. So you can find me there.
Wonderful. That's great. And now I'd love to tell everyone about our upcoming workshop that we are running together. So Karina and I and our friend Jackie Stewart, we're holding a workshop together live in London, and Karina's going to head over to London and Jackie's going to head over to London. I'm in London. And this workshop is called Stop, Release, Reset, a Day of Deep Soul Connection. And it's on September the 12th, and I'm wondering if we should just share a little bit about this workshop and tell our viewers a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited about this workshop. I love London and I can't wait to do this. And it's always fun to create with other people who do similar work because we can all bring, our own personality, our own skills, and also because this is I find such an awesome topic because we all need reminders. And Lara and I were talking with Jackie just earlier today about how we all need to remind ourselves of this. Like, you're never too busy to take a short break just to breathe and come back into your body and be present. Because every time we get stressed out, we close down. And so when we stop, breathe, open up, we can receive so much more support. And there's always an easier way to do things like work or family or relationships. Like, we don't have to, it doesn't have to be hard work. We don't have to push ourselves so hard. Doesn't mean we don't do things. It's just that when we get into that flow, it just happens with so much more ease, and it doesn't feel like hard work. It feels like we're being guided, and we're just kind of riding that wave. So that's what, I feel very guided to bring into that workshop, and the whole like playing and inviting more joy in as well, and just offering everyone who comes such a beautiful, loving space where you can just come as you are, no matter where you are in your life, just come and like soak that up. You don't have to do anything, be anything, just, come as you are and let's see what happens, what comes up for you, what you need to do. Because I find that, especially people who live in big cities, like just taking that time out for yourselves without feeling guilty, because most of you have, people to take care of and work and all those things to do. But I found for myself that if I don't take care of myself, if I don't fill myself up first, I just get really grumpy, and I don't, and it kind of messes everything up, and then we feel bad because we're not present with ourselves, and we're not, present with our families, our clients, or our friends. And so it's just one of those days when you get the whole day to just take care of you and allow for us to guide you through these fun exercises. And Jackie will be doing flower essence stuff and mandalas, and it's always fun to get creative. And then Lara's healing work, and I'll be doing some channeling, and just having a day of play and joy and love, so that you can receive all the healing you need as well to really tap into what's already there that you may have forgotten or lost, or just for a while.
Absolutely. And I think we recognize that it's not just, having a luxurious day for yourself. It's actually vital. Like, from our point of view, it's vital to take time and space out. And as you said, if you don't, if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious or stuck or frustrated or get angry or resentful, it means you've like stretched yourself too thin and you haven't received and recharged. And so we know that it's essential to recharge those batteries, and this day is for that, for you to receive for you. And the thing is sometimes it feels like, I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, I can't. But actually what we've all found is when we take time and space out for ourselves, we're so much more productive, we have so much more energy, we get perspective and clarity. So like when I go into overwhelm or like anxiety, it's like everything just feels too much, and it's like I can't navigate my way through. But when I stop and do all the practices and get back into alignment, suddenly it's like, I see the path. It's boom, 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 and it all happens with total ease. Like you said, it flows more freely. It's not such a big deal. You get it done quite quickly. But when we go, like when our energy is, when we're burnt out or we've spread ourselves too thin or we're not receiving, it's like it all just becomes a big messy fog, and you can't find your way through. So I actually find this makes life just so much easier and much more joyful. And I know this is what the guides say to you. They say to me too, it's like, let's have some fun. It doesn't need to be so serious. And I know we both get reminded this again and again. But it's time to have some, like, to enjoy this life. It doesn't need to be so heavy and serious and complicated. But if we don't take that time out, then we go into that place of burnout and overwhelm, and it all feels too much. So if you're feeling like that, this workshop has been created just for you. And this is a day for you to nourish you and nurture you so that you have more to give out to the world, and that you feel better. If nothing else, it's going to be a beautiful day, a really nurturing wonderful day where you can be surrounded in love and support and a safe space to release and let go. And Jackie and Karina and I are really excited and looking forward to spending time with you.
Yeah, great points, Lara. It's just like, just taking that time out. And in the end, I find when I don't, it just costs me more money, takes me more time to get back on track. And maybe some of you have already been burned out, so you know how long it takes to recuperate. So it's really important. And we tend to get busier and busier. So just pressing that stop button. And I think it's really great timing after the holidays, because sometimes the holidays are not really holidays because we take care of a lot of people and we get really, we hang out with lots of people and maybe family, and then we rush back to work and we start working hard. So just taking that time for you to really, to take a break and recharge and just, let yourself be guided as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to find out more about the workshop, there's going to be a link below this video. It's in London, in North London, on Saturday, September the 12th, 10 to 6. It's £95. And please feel free to contact us if you want any more information or if you have any questions. And Karina, it's been really lovely speaking with you, and I'm so happy to share your work because it's such beautiful work that you do and you bring such a joy and light to the planet. So definitely check out Karina's website and her free gifts for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Lara. I love hanging out with you, and it's going to be so much fun to create magic together in London. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. So, lots of love, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.